Let's talk on the guards. You got Joe Jackson, Antonio Barton, Charles Carmouche, Chris Crawford. All four are solid guys. They were all four are key contributors from last season. 3 sophomores, 1 senior, and Charles Carmouche, who is on pace to graduate in May. And you know what we need from those guys is consistency, because last year we were 290th in the country in turnovers, and our biggest thing is for us as a team is we have to eliminate our turnovers. Against Lemoyne College, we only had 11, which is a good thing. We had 3 or 4 in the first 5 minutes of the game. But from the guard standpoint, we've got to make sure that we eliminate our turnovers. I think that's a big key thing. Secondly, ball pressure for our guards. That they set the tone from the beginning with defensive principles, because our number one thing defensively is ball pressure. And those 4 guys are gonna be the guys who are starting, kind of setting on the front line, should I say, and they set the tone with the ball pressure. Third thing would be shooting. They've got to knock down 3-point shots. They've got to knock down 3-point shots. They're going to get some looks, and they got to stick them. Against Lemoyne College, Charles stepped up and made some threes. Going back to the turnover part of it, Joe Jackson had 7 assists and 1 turnover. Chris Crawford had 7 assists and 2 turnovers. So between those two, 14 assists and 3 turnovers combined, which is terrific, which is an amazing number. Antonio Barton and Charles Carmouche both shot the ball really well from 3-point range, and that allowed us to open the game up some as well too. The last thing, which I think is a big key component for those 4 guards, is defensive rebounding. A lot of people talk about defensive rebounding that they think it's just the big guys. It's got to be the guards as well, and it is so important that the guards rebound. They stick their nose in there and they rebound the ball. We call it kind of gang rebounding. You take that 4 guys, that gang of 4 guys, and stick them in there and rebound the ball, even if it's by committee. So it's not just the bigs. Guards got to stick their nose in there, find a way to come up with the rebound, because if they do, we don't have to have an exchange of an outlet from a big to a guard. We can just get it from the guard because of our advantage. And our strengths is our speed and quickness and offensive transition. We can just get it and go. So those are 4 areas that we're really focusing on. For the 4 guards, I would like each guy to kind of try to have a goal of getting 4 or 5 defensive rebounds a game. I mean, it doesn't mean they're going to get 4 and 5 each game, but I want them going after it. So that allows them to try to get 4 or 5 defensive rebounds a game. And the stats that I constantly talk about, whether it's in practice or game, are rebounds and assist and turnovers, bottom line. Like, I was proud against Lemoyne College. We had 26 assists on 44 made field goals. Again, there's a lot we have to get better at. I can give you a laundry list of stuff, but as in terms of the initial things that we did well, I thought 26 assists on 44 made field goals goes back to my number 1 motto: the open man's the go-to man. We're still relatively a young team because we're dominated by sophomores, but you know, our young sophomores played major minutes last year in key crunch time, high-level games. So you know, we are a more mature team this year than we were last year. I'm not saying we're not mature. I'm saying we're more mature this year than we were last year. But we got good guys, and those 4, even those 4 guards that we talked about, are good guys too. I think a lot of people talk about how unselfish we are as a team. I think that's one thing that you could say about our team since we've been here, is we're pretty an unselfish team. I mean, we make the extra pass. We work on that. I think that's one of our identities is making the extra pass, being unselfish. The open man's the go-to man, and again, that starts with those 4 guys.